With the podcast. He's got a podcast. This motherfucker's got the podcast. I can't believe it, he got a podcast. How do you do it? How do you do it? How do you get one? What do? You start. You start talking in your podcast. There you go. Come on, let's go. Let's get into the heavy metal news. I know this ain't sounding heavy metal yet, but it will, girl. Hit the black ones. Try them out. Let's go. And I didn't mean black ones like, I was just saying these black keys here, I never hit them. I never touch them, and they're right there before my fingers. I could easily just move up, but I don't. And the reason why, it's the half steps, right? I've just figured that out just now. Hey, they can't all be winners. We've talked about that before. Please don't hassle me about it, okay? I'm trying to do a podcast over here. I'm trying to do it the best I can for you, by the way, and you're welcome. Now, let me welcome you to this podcast. Welcome to Jive Talkin' episode 141. I do believe it is. Can you believe we've done 141 of these things? And some of you out there, maybe silent, maybe outspoken, have listened to 141 episodes. And if mamas went to the hospital, I used to have a grandma. It's like, where'd grandma go? Where's grandma? We came all the way down here to see grandma. She went to stay at the hospital. Later, I learned it was like Bellevue. It's like we had to check her in for a couple of weeks. Might not be surprising where you're like, oh, that's not too far off the mark. But welcome back to another fine episode. A fine episode that we have here. We're talking some interesting things, I think. Of course, we're going to check in with Joey Belladonna. He's going to perform Rainbow in the Dark with... What's the band called? It's the Ronnie James Dio cover band. And apparently I see a big banner behind them that they're on tour with Mr. Big. So there you go. That's fun for them. We got Dave Mustaine. We got Michael Ackerfeld. You know who he is? He's from Opeth. I saw Joey Tempest. And I was like, Joey Tempest? He says, yeah, he's Michael Ackerfeld, lead singer, guitarist for the phenomenal band Opeth. Says, yeah, I reached out to Joey Tempest and Europe. I was like, was that the band Europe? About doing a European tour. Great. Let's get off with a bang, a whiz and a bang. I'll tell you, my entire life has been heavy labor. I get up 5 a.m., I get on the bus, I ride the bike down, I do the thing, and I am heavy lifting and loading for hours on end. My neck and I can hear shit. When I rotate my head, I can hear crackling in there. My shoulders and everything. I've been on TikTok. I don't even watch TikToks. I watch those pillow ads. Have you seen that amazing pillow? This isn't an ad for them. Unless they'd like to give me one for free. Because I just sit there and I watch people lay on that pillow. And I go, I fucking want that. So, payday's coming and I'm buying that pillow. Now there's 40 different kinds. So, because people see, I'll just make a pillow. And so I got to find that one. Because I want the one that's cooling top. It keeps your head cool, but it cradles the neck and everything, and they've just sold me on it. It's like an old infomercial, you used to watch those, and you're like, oh, who would ever fucking buy that? But after they go for about 40 minutes on it, you're like, I mean, what's the harm in spending $59.99 for a set of knives? I mean, mine are old, Let me have a sip of this. We'll get into the first story here. There you have him, Rex Brown. Phil the Phil Man Anselmo. That's Benante, Charlie Benante, and Zakk Wylde. And Zakk Wylde, he's going to say that Pantera, this is not Pantera, you guys. Sure, we're playing all the songs, and sure, we're out on tour, and there's, all of that, but this isn't Pantera, because Pantera is Dime, Vinny, Phil, and Rex. And I'd like to say thank you to him for that, because, at least he's self-aware, and he's saying, wait a minute, I've been doing everything. Sometimes I even feel like Dimebag Darrell. But remember when he was called Diamond Darrell? Sometimes my brain goes back to that, where I want to call him Diamond Darrell, because it was like a weird time when he changed his name, wasn't it? He was Diamond Darrell. Wasn't he Diamond Darrell on the Cowboys from Hell album? Then he says, God damn it, I'm a dime bag. I ain't a diamond. I'm a dime bag. Anyways. Now we go. Welcome. We got your comments. We got lots of fun in store. I hope you join me for the whole thing. And let's proceed now. This is one of them live shots of them. All those folks that I just mentioned, it's them after one of their fine performances. And the people are looking out going, by God, if I didn't think that... I know it's not Pantera, but I would absolutely think it was Pantera if I closed my eyes. Zakk Wylde says, current touring band is not Pantera. Pantera is Dime. Pantera, I'm going to tell you right now, Pantera is Dime, Vinny, Phil, and Rex. In a new interview with the Mistress Carrie podcast, Zakk Wylde, and I know his name's Wild and not Wildy. I just like to say it like that, okay? He spoke about the decision to tour with the reformed version of Pantera, also featuring surviving members Phil Anselmo on the vocals, Rex the Brown Man Brown on the bass guitar, or as the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones singer used to say, Rex Brown and the bass fiddleman. I love that word, the bass fiddleman. Alongside Charlie Benante of Anthrax on the drums. The lineup has reportedly been given a green light by the estate of Pantera's founding drummer, Vinny, Paul Abbott. I get him Vinny Vincent and stuff like that mixed up, but this isn't it. And guitarist the Dime Man, Daryl Abbott. They spoke with him. They got on a knee, they asked what he would have said a few years ago if somebody had told him that he would one day be the guitarist in Pantera. Zakk said, it's transcribed by Blabbermouth. Well, hey, old dingo. It's the Pantera celebration. It's not Pantera. Pantera is Dime, Vinny, Phil, and Rex. So that's Pantera. Get it straight, Mistress of the Night. But no, it's a beautiful thing honoring these guys every night. Everybody having a blast. Everyone that comes down to the show, either you have the Pantera faithful taking a trip down a memory lane, and you've got all the younger, like Phil always calls it, the new blood. And it's amazing every damn night how many. And it's amazing every damn night how many, ... I thought that was weird too. It's just a testament to what the fellas created. My, oh my. Because we've got so many young people that have never seen Pantera before. They might even mistake me for Dimebag till somebody tells them in the car on the way home, that wasn't the... Oh, you silly damn dummy. For me, for my situation, I never got the chance to see Led Zeppelin. So, if Zeppelin got back together, and you had, right now with Jason Bonham playing the drum, because I never got a chance to see it. So, Jason Bonham is playing in the Sammy Hagar. Zakk, are you interested in watching the Sammy Hagar's what's it called? Best of All Worlds tour? You could go see that. So it's that kind of situation. So it's all the younger kids coming out here, come up here, hearing that their old brothers listen to it. Yeah, children are a funny thing because the mother can only have one every 9 to 10 months, sometimes sooner, but never past 10 months. And they repeatedly keep having them. So It's all the younger kids coming up hearing that their older brothers, that's because they keep having the baby. So the first baby that they had would be the older brother. The brother listening to, or their dad, or whatever. And now they're at their gig to hear this music live. So, to me, it's truly a beautiful thing. Every night we play honoring the guys. And by guys, I mean Dimebag, the Dime Man, and his fine, fine drumming brother. Regarding how his opinion of Dimebag as a guitar player has changed, this is a very good question. What's her name? The Mistress Carrie. She's reaching deep. She's twisting the screwdriver in there to get them questions. Regarding how his opinion of Dimebag as a guitar player has changed as a result of having to dissect his parts. Well, Zakk said, I already knew my buddy was great. I told myself that in my mind. I already knew Dime was great. But then the more I was learning this stuff, I was like, he's even greater than I ever damn did thunk in my head. But no, learning all these stuff or going through learning all the stuff or going through actually learning the songs, it's just a side of Dime's great technique and his chops and everything like that. I mean, to me, his legacy is, I put it more like Tony the Tony Tiger Iommi. Have you ever heard of him? He was in that band Black Sabbath. Well, what Tony created with Black Sabbath, which I just said, was basically its own entire genre of music. So, Pantera, they're the gold standard of that genre of music. Whether it's power groove or whatever. What Dime called it. Did Dime call it power groove? The Lamb of God guys are amazing. But they're cut from that cloth, that style of music that Pantera forged all the bands that come after that. I mean, it's just kind of like Pantera created in their genre in the same thing as the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Zeppelin and Sabbath. I mean, I agree with that. They did put their trademark on that sound, right? A lot of bands use that. There's more bands going with the digital sounds of Pantera than Sabbath these days. Is that a lie that I just said? All the bands that we love, where they're the benchmark of the style of music, so yeah. That's why I always tell everybody it's not so much about Fast Dime, how fast Dime was, and everything like that. It's what he wrote, and that's his legacy to me. Jesus, what the hell am I doing? What's the mistress going to say? I can't wait to read this next question from the mistress. The mistress asked what it's like to play the opening riff of the classic Pantera song Walk. Every night. I hope she did that in the interview. She says, Zakk Wylde, what's it like playing that opening riff to the classic Pantera song Walk every night? Boop ba doo doop ba doo doop ba doo doop. Oh, it is. I have to tell you, Cassie, it's truly amazing. Phil always said it every night. When we're doing the shows with Metallica, he goes, he said, well, I think a lot of people don't know who we are, don't know who Pantera is. He goes, but once that riff starts, they go, oh yeah, I've heard that song before. It's an iconic riff for sure. Totally. Well, there you have that. She goes, I love her. She's a great questionnaire. Cassie, the mistress of the night. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba. All right. Let's get into this Tommy Lee story here. because I guess he was on Theo Von or something. And he said, yeah, Ozzy Osbourne absolutely snorted ants and drank his own piss. And that's a face that's saying, I ain't telling lies. I don't lie about things like that. Why would I make a story up like that and put it in a movie? And I could see Ozzy snorting ants. Drinking his own piss, too. I mean, if he... Ozzy's the kind of guy that would do something weird, like he's got to go pee real bad, so he pees in a bottle. And then he picked it back up and took a drink of it. Took a big swig of it, During an appearance on the new episode of This Past Weekend with Theo Von, Funny Man, Theo Von podcast, Tommy Lee addressed the story in the Motley Crue biopic The Dirt about Ozzy Osbourne allegedly drinking his own pee-pee and snorting a line of ants. And they would be in a line, wouldn't they? Ants would be in a line. They go by the pheromones. In The Dirt, which premiered in 2019 on Netflix, a young Ozzy, played by Tony Cavallero, holds an impromptu gross-out contest of sorts with Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx at a Lakeland, Florida hotel swimming pool in 1984. During the two acts, and I saw that tour by and by. I mean, that was the only tour they did together, right? Bark at the Moon, Shout at the Devil. Back then, I mean. The U.S. tour, after exposing himself to some hotel guests. Oh, Ozzy. You are just a knucklehead. I still haven't seen The Dirt. Ozzy asked crew for cocaine. Hey, gosh. Hey, Nikki Sixx. You got any cocaine over there? Hands over a straw, and Ozzy kneels on the ground and snorts a crawling line of ants. Then he urinates on the ground. Oh, he urinates on the ground and licks it up. That's just demeaning. You make the opening band do that. Tommy, get down, take a whiz, and drink it. Challenging Sixx to do the same. Oh, it was a double dare. Pressured, Sixx urinated on the ground as well. And they never touched swords or anything, right? But before he can get to it, Ozzy kneels down and laps it up first. Now that's wackadoo. I didn't hear that. Nikki Sixx pissed down, and then Ozzy drank that? That ain't good. Asked by Theo, "Ma'am, is it true that Ozzy drank his own pee?" It was transcribed by Blabbermouth. Tommy said, "Oh, did? Full on true. I know people ask that all the time. They're like, dude, really?" I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely, dude. You can't make that shit up. Motley Crue drummer continued, "Dude, he was so high. All of us were, man. We were zoned out." What's the hot phrase for that? We were blipped. We had just been on an overnight bus ride and Ozzy rode with us. So, we're doing rails the whole way. No one slept. Everyone was just drinking and sucking. So we're at the hotel, and no one wanted to go to their room. Everybody wanted to still keep partying. You ever been there? Guys, it's been October since I had any alcohol. But I remember having those, where you get to the point where you get to drink and you say, this night's going to last forever. I don't want the good times to end. So we go, let's go to the fucking pool. And we got to the pool. And then what happened, man? Oh, shit. At the time, it was just kind of a thing. Everybody was into trying to out-rock star and out-gross somebody out. Like out partying. So Ozzy's wasted, man. He sees there's a little trail of ants going all the way to this kid's popsicle. That's disgusting. Oh, the kid's popsicle that he left on the ground. Sorry, okay. And Ozzy looks down and fucking just snorts the freaking line, and a little bit of that popsicle juice too. Is that what you're going to say? Ozzy looks down and fucking snorts a line of ants going to the popsicle stick. I added stick. And Nikki's like, okay, well, fuck, that's... So Nikki pulls his dick out, which is way smaller than mine, by the way. Even though he's got a nice, healthy one, it's not as big as mine. Remember when I drove that boat with mine? Hold on. Where are we at? So Nikki pulls his ding-dong out at the pool. And there's a popsicle melting on the ground, so... CSI investigators would tell you that it's probably still a child close, because if the hot sun is out on the fucking pool floor and you got a popsicle melting and the ants are going to it, they're 30 minutes away, 15 minutes away. I think it was like the Four Seasons Hotel, I think in Dallas. Well, no, they called it the Fork Lane something. You think it's the Four Seasons, it's not. Fork Lake, Florida Hotel. I think in Dallas or something. Florida. There were people, kids, everything. You son of a bitch. Nikki Sixx pulled his cock-a-doodle-doo out at the pool, and there was parents and kids and everything down there. You sicko. This was the 80s, though. I worked with this guy. He's an older guy. And he just talks about skinny dipping all the time. It's like, I don't see, I don't see what the big deal is. I mean, it still seems weird to me that, if you're like, growing up in the 50s or whatever, but he's from Canada, and I don't know exactly what they do up there. But every time skinny dipping comes up, it's like, there's grown-ups, there's little kids, there's skinny, everybody's skinny dipping, having a good time. And I guess that stuff just doesn't fly now. Now, I know groups would go and skinny dip. You and your friends would go skinny dip or whatever, but I don't remember like a family reunion, unless it's kind of a nudist colony. And those are weird too, right? Not to offend you if you're part of a nudist colony, it's whatever. Get your freak on. I think it was like in Dallas, no, it's Florida. People, kids, everything. Nikki goes, fuck that. Watch this. Nikki goes to pee on the ground, and Nikki's going to lick his own piss up to outdo Ozzy Osbourne. And before Nikki could do it, Ozzy fucking beats him to it and licks up his piss. And we're like, all right, Ozzy, you fucking win. You win, dude. You know what I would have done if I was Ozzy? If they're all out at the beach chairs and this is going on, I'd pull mine out. I start whizzing all over, and I'd say, where's Mick Mars? And I say, he's up in the room. Get him down here. You guys are all going to drink my piss, or we're going to kick you off the top. Are we, Sharon?
Oh, that's right, Ozzy. They're going to be gone. They better drink your piss, or they're going to go.
That's what it was. Ozzy, you don't get down there and drink it for the opening band. You spray out a nice long line and say, all four of you boys get down and have a drink. Anyways, let's move on. Michael Ackerfeld. He says, is he going to go on tour with freaking Europe? Or am I completely brain dead? Because I think Joey Tempest, isn't that the guy that played drums for freaking Exodus? Or am I mixing names up here? Michael Ackerfeld says he talked to Joey Tempest about Opeth and Europe touring together. So, because you guys know how I read. So I may have missed a word where it was like he talked to someone about touring Europe. But it is Opeth and Europe touring together. At last weekend's Wacken Open Air Festival in Wacken, Germany, Opeth guitarist, vocalist Michael Uns Ackerfeld. He's a very proper guy, too. And guitarist Friedrich Ackerson spoke to Marcus Schluterman of EMP about the band's upcoming album, The Last Will and Testament, which will arrive on October 11th via Reigning Phoenix Music. They got a lot of bands on that. As transcribed by Bob Mouth, we recorded it in February, I think. Frederick added,
Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
no. We recorded once again in Rockfield in Wales. So this is the time we went to Rockfield. I would say it's different from every other album. Definitely. And we are going to be doing that S1, or whatever that symbol is, whatever the damn song is. Maybe they'll mention it down here how you're supposed to say it. Asked how the Last Will and Testament is different from other Opeth albums, Michael said, I don't know, it's weird. That's not really different for us, I guess, but I'm doing some of the screams again, which I haven't done for a long time. And there's some guests on there. Ian Anderson, you know, he played the flute in Jethro Tull, won a Grammy over Metallica. He's on there doing spoken word, playing his flute. And Joey Tempest of Europe is on it. That's interesting, but yeah, it's a concept record. Somebody said it sounded claustrophobic. It's a claustrophobic sounding record. And there's a lot of ideas. It's a restless record. There's not meandering stuff happening all the time. Even I don't really know the songs yet. But of course, I will say that. But I think it's good. It's a good record. When I saw Opeth, people are silent. They just watch, and they were amazing, man. They were amazing, but people stand there with their arms to the sides, except for the phones that are up there. And he'll sit there and tune his guitar and go, a couple of days ago on tour, you know, and he'll just tell little anecdotes and stuff as he tunes his guitar, and people are just on pins and needles on the edge of their seat regarding Joey's contribution. Very good for asking that question. To the Last Will and Testament, Michael said, Tempest. Doesn't sound like Tempest on Europe's biggest hit, The Final Countdown. I had him over to my house. I asked him, could you sing me a few lines here on the bearskin rug? Let's push the record button, he said. At the time, I didn't have the lyrics ready, so I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I have to record it from somewhere else. But he's really going for it. He sounds amazing. I mean, I'm a big Europe fan, being Swedish. I love them. And I think of him to be one of this record's, and I think of him to be on this record. It's a bit different by his standards because it doesn't really sound like a Europe record at all. Asked if he and Joey are friends. Do you hang out besides that one time he came to your house? I guess we're friends. Yeah. He sent me a text one day. It's like, what's up? I was like, hey, Joey Tempest. And we met at a festival, and he invited me over to his house. I mean, we know the Europe guys. Frederick, one of his best friends is John Norum, the Europe guitar player. So, we're good friends with the whole band. But, yeah, Joey Tempest is my friend. We hang out every now and then. On the possibility of Opeth in Europe, a joint tour, Michael said, you will not believe this, my friend. You will not be able to fathom in your small mind, which cannot create the way I do. We talked about it, but it's hard to know. Ultimately, we make the calls for who we're going to tour with. That's the Opeth standard. We make the call. For instance, we're going to tour in North America soon with Tribulation. They're heavy, crazy. And when I saw them, they were on tour with Mastodon. And Tribulation, the band that I just mentioned, they are friends. And then we're going to tour in Europe with Grand Magus. We've done them, first listen to them. Yep. Which is also our friends, right? Tribulation, Grand Magus, And I guess Joey Tempest, they're my friends, Shane. But it's hard to know if people like that package or not. I'm not sure. I think Europe would have to play after us then, because you don't want to go up after the final countdown. Asked if the song on the last Will and Testament all stand on their own. Do each of these... Hear me and hear me now, Michael Ackerfeld. Do each of the tracks on this album stand on their own? Or if they are all connected in some way? This is what he said. Oh, my puny brain friend. They are all connected lyrically. But also, to a certain extent, the one song bleeds into the other. Which I always liked anyways. It's basically the reading of a testament. You're giving all the shit away. You're giving the secrets away, Michael. So it's like paragraphs. There are no real song titles on there. I can say that because it's some kind of double S. It's like, you know, when they take the S, and then if you typed another S over the top, but you just lifted it up a little bit, it looks wacky. I don't know what that is. You can get in the comments and explain that with your bigger brains. Well, it's like a paragraph. There are no real songs on there, but it's a bit odd by our standard even. But you could, of course, extract any song from We Don't Have to Play the Whole Record. I read that like shit, but let's move on. Davey Mustaine here really quick. They were saying Davey Mustaine was out if he's misunderstood. If he's a misunderstood figure in rock and roll. And he weighs in. I think he's going to say yeah. Even when I lean myself back to finish off that drink, my neck aches. I should be sleeping with a neck brace. My grandfather, the same one that I told you about that lived to 97, smoked cigarettes since he was 12 and ate fried potatoes for every meal. I remember as a grandchild going over there to visit them, and he always had a neck brace on. So, guys, 2025, 2026, I might look like a fucking freak. You might be, you might be investing now in what you see before your eyes, but I could be looking like a Gallagher with thick glasses on and a neck brace and shit in a year or two. And you guys might just go, he is unappealing to me to look at. I said, come on, I love his podcast. Let me listen to it. You can listen to it, but I don't goddamn want to see him. I don't want to see his damn ugly face. Pardon me. Let's get into it. Is he misunderstood? Is he like Miss Elliott? In a new interview with Tom Reardon of the Phoenix New Times. Very elegant. Megadeth lead, and this guy's going to have questions. Tom Reardon, do not fuck around. He's going to have the hard-hitting questions for David. I hope he was prepared. Megadeth leader Dave Mustaine, who was a member of Metallica for less than 2 years from 1981 to 83 before being dismissed and replaced by Kirk Hammett, was asked about his reputation as one of the more misunderstood figures in rock and roll. He said, people get their yeah-yeahs when they see people struggling for some reason, for some crazy reason. There's the people who we love, there's the people out there who love you and want you to do good, and the people out there, for whatever reason, who don't want you to do good. You ask yourself, what did I do to you? Are you that fucking jealous of me? There's a lot of people like that. I'm not one, Dave. I love you. I think you're great. I'll take Megadeth over Metallica records most of the time. 7 out of 10 times, 5 out of 5 times. You just have to learn to avoid them. Referencing his exit from Metallica, Mustaine added, "Once we broke up with Metallica, James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, and we went our separate ways. And it was really weird with all the animosity from people I didn't even know." But he clarifies, I do believe that people are entitled to their opinions. There have been numerous times where people had the right to take exception with something I've done because, I love this, because something I've done, there have been some things that I did or said that I like, that I look back now and I think, wow, that was a little over the top. That was a little over the top, Dave. But sometimes things just need to be said. There were no people that had the balls to say anything. But that ain't me. If somebody was trying to pull a scam with us, that's not going to happen. I could see Dave Mustaine being the leader of Metallica. That's another good reason to get him gone. Is if you're walking up as a group of a band, let's just say a band, there's that dude in the front. There's the guy in the front that walks up to the club and shakes the guy, the promoter guys, how the fuck you doing, pal? Where do we set it? Where do we take our gear in? Where, what are we doing with our gear, sir? We need to get it in and set it up on the stage. And that guy instantly becomes the guy you go to. You say, oh, that's the leader of the band. And it may have been one of those scenarios where they were walking up to a club and James and, or Lars and Dave Mustaine were walking up at the same time, and the guy was starting to lean off to Dave, and Lars said, oh, he's got to go. He thinks he's the leader. Back in 2012, Mustaine floated the idea that he was misunderstood by the media, telling Noise Creep, one of the problems about Megadeth is that we've been severely misinterpreted by the press. I'll say something in an interview, and they'll either take what I said completely out of context, or they'll evaluate it based on one sole statement and not the whole idea. He repeated those sentiments. He did? A year later. Oh my God. In an interview with Metal Hammer. Probably the biggest thing that has harmed my career is being misunderstood. But it is better to be understood or to understand. He explained at the time, I understand much more now, so I am less inclined to be preaching or complaining about being misquoted now. There are people who love me and people who don't. But everyone's entitled. I have love in my heart for both. He loves the people that hate him. Do you understand that? If you're listening to this podcast right now and you go, you know what? I hate the fact that I have to hear a Dave Mustaine story. He's saying he still loves you even though you hate him. So take that to heart. Maybe you can hate a little less and love a little more. You ever think about that? You're over there hating Dave Mustaine all the time. You ever think about it? He's loving you. You can't hate him a little less. It's never too late to stop the hate. That's a trademark slogan I just made up. Trademarking that right now. It's never too late to stop the hate. Oh, he's going to say shit in here. Let's read that. I love them both. Even the ones that hate me, I love them too. I don't get mad about the people who dislike me. You can get obsessed with that. Someone doesn't like me? Tough shit for me. Oh, he added, I have a terrible reputation. There was a guy who used to manage me, and when we had a falling out, I think he started rumors about me being difficult. But we became friends again. Do you see all you Dave haters out there? Come on! You can reconcile. And that was all part of a process of reconciliation. including with Metallica and former Megadeth bass player David, the Dave Man Ellefson, too. And do you know what? When that happened, my injured arm, it's going to be healing. We're going to, hold on, guys. We got to go back. He's going to be healed by his good nature, including Metallica, former Megadeth bass player David Ellefson, too. And do you know what? Do you want to hear something crazy? When that happened, my injured arm and injured thumb started working again. Crazy, huh? Unbelievable. In 2016, Mustaine was asked about Westword.com, why he thinks he is openly despised. What's that, Westword.com? Why he thinks he was openly despised on a handful of websites. I think a lot of it goes back to the breakup of Metallica. There are people that have picked up that feud and they don't even know why they're choosing sides. Okay, we're done with that. Last time I was doing the podcast, the damn battery was blinking. Do you remember that? Battery blinking at the end? I got to trim a little bit off. Not much, but a little. Well, I don't need to tell you who this feller is if you're watching. That's the Pete Man. That ain't Drew Barrymore. That ain't no freaking, chubby cheeks in makeup. No, that ain't Eric Singer. That is the original Catman, the OG Peter Criss. And guess what? Are you a fan of Famous Monsters Festival? Peter Criss will be there. Original Kiss drummer Peter Criss to appear at next month's Famous Monsters Festival. Now, some of you might not even know that it's coming. So I might be setting you up for a good time here. Original Kiss drummer Peter Criss will appear at the Famous Monsters Festival at Valley Forge Casino Resort in King of Prussia. My God, that's a mouthful. Pennsylvania, next month. Famous Monsters Festival at Valley Forge Casino Resort in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Next month, the legendary 78-year-old rocker will meet fans on Friday, September 13th and Friday, September 13th and Saturday, September 14th only. Friday, September 13th, 2024, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and not a damn minute later. Saturday, September 14th, 2024 at 12:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. He's putting the hours in there. He's slapping on another hour and a half. I got that math wrong, but no table side selfies allowed. Maximum of 5 items signed per guest / family. What if you got 6 kids? What if you're like the Brady Bunch? You got to send half your kids over here. You got to send the boys. Boys, we can't be on the same package because there's more than 5 of us. So we're going to have to buy you a separate package. No outside drum heads or drum parts. Boy, that just took the fucking wind out of every Kiss fan. They're just like, all that shit right there. Drum heads, oh, good news, guys. If you're saying, I wanted to get a drum head signed, though, Shane. Drum heads will be available at the event. Is it going to be Remo? Or is it going to be some lame-ass shit brand, off-brand, that nobody uses because they break easy? Evans. Remo and Evans. And what's the another good one? There's 3 good ones. Drumheads will be available at the event at Peter's table. Relax. With proceeds going... He's a saint. Peter has the right to tell you how he's going to sign stuff because all the proceeds are going to charity. Peter says... Beth, I hear you calling. He said, I'm looking forward to seeing you all. Was he? He's fucking New York, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. Safe travels, and I'll see you all soon. God bless. PeterChris.net. He don't own .com. That's interesting. Someone give him the damn website. PeterChris.com. Don't be a son of a bitch. I'll bet you if you contacted him right now, he would swap out, and you could do that behind the things, you know, where you swap website domains. Give him PeterChris.com. He's 78-year-old goddamn legend. And then he'll say, Peter, will you give me PeterChris.net? I say, oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, you bet I will. Chris first left Kiss in 1980. Since then, he's worked with other bands and released solo albums. He teamed up with Kiss again for the reunion tour, which I saw in the 1990s. And I mentioned it, I got the year wrong, and then someone said, he's a fucking liar, dude. He was not at that concert. It's like, I just got the year wrong. I remember because Peter Criss wasn't even playing it. He came out, he sang Beth, maybe, but there was some long-haired dude back there, probably Eric Singer, because he was having arthritis problems. He teamed up with a Kiss again in the reunion 1990s, and most recently in 2004, he was replaced by the chubbiest of all cheeks, Eric Singer. In addition to playing drums in Kiss, Peter also provided lead vocals for a number of the band's most popular and memorable songs, including Beth, I Hear You Calling, and Ooh, Black Diamond, and To Be a Hard Luck Woman, Baby, Till You Find Your Man. Chris, who was known as Catman, released his last solo CD, One for All, in 2007. Peter produced the album himself for the first time. Well, he wanted to get good at it. And was joined by guest musicians that included keyboardist Paul Shaffer from the world's most dangerous band. The bassist, Paul Shaffer, and bassist Will Lee of Late Night with David Letterman. I love it. I mean, they're very in tight with David Letterman's band, aren't they? Anton Fig played drums for what Peter Criss couldn't do. And he was the drummer for the David Letterman band along with Paul Shaffer and Will Lee. So he's like, you know what? I wonder if Paul and those guys say, hey, man, so you still got a problem with Anton Fig, man? He's like, that son of a bitch better never come in my neighborhood. The album featured a range of styles from rock and jazz to blues and Broadway, and included covers of What a Difference a Day Makes and Send in the Clowns. That's got to be just a record that you want to hear. Let's get into Joey Belladonna. Now, we love him. We do not speak ill of Joey Belladonna. He is the greatest Journey cover band singer that to ever walk the face of the earth. But he says, you know what? I can thrash it up. And I can AOR rock it up. Would they be an AOR rock band? Journey? But he says, you know what? I can also metal it up too. I'll tell you right up. Let's metal up your ass, pal, because I can do Rainbow in the Dark from Ozzy. Now, he's not going to do it as good as Dio. No one can do it as good as Dio. Okay? We love Dio. He is a treasure and a treat, rest in peace. But we also like Joey Belladonna, so we don't cause him harm and no foul. Who's this freak over here? Is that the regular singer guy? And he's just going, yeah, I'll turn the mic over to fucking Joey where he's everywhere. He's at your local karaoke bar. He's down the road over here. He's up there. Now he wants to be on our stage. Here we go. When there's lightning. Come on, Joey. Don't go. Come on. Oh, they're letting another guy sing. I don't want to hear you sing it. I want Joey to sing it. Is that Vinny back there? Yeah. Is this the one that has a Def Leppard fella in it? Wait a minute. That guy just give up on playing the keyboard? Because it's supposed to be playing through this, isn't it? This guy just said, yeah, fuck it, I'm taking a smoke break. There's Joey. There you go, baby. Not bad. Oh, and he does the heavy metal horns. He's fun. Joey says, you know what? I've become Ronnie. When I sing his songs, I become him. The thing about the double singers is the main guy that's in the band that goes, ladies and gentlemen, Joey Bella, what's his last name? I know it's a long one. It's a weird one. Belladonna. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Belladonna coming out here. He's gonna blister that off because what he does, it's kind of like pissing on the side of a couch. If you're, he's like, I'm gonna bust this first verse because let you know who runs Bartertown around here. And give yourself a Diet Dr. Pepper or get yourself a Diet Coke if you know that reference. Who runs Bartertown? That's all I'm gonna do. All right, keep going. Got to give that guy a tambourine so he don't have to keep smacking his side. God damn it, Joey, we love you. We love you. We respect you in all ways and every way. What was that one Journey song I heard the other day? I was like, fuck, I haven't heard that in a long time, and it's wonderful and beautiful. Oh, send her my love, memories remain. Do-do-do-do. Great. And as you can see back here, guys, the big Mr. Big logo there, you can see it clear with your own eyes. Let's get into your comments. It is that time, everybody. Oh, we've made it. And I've still got 2 bars on this thing, so I think we're going to do it. Sippy pie, then we get into it. Joey, what's his goddamn name? I had it on the tip of my tongue. Joey Belladonna? Belladonna. Oh, okay. Why did I just get up? Is that cat hair? I don't know. Mike Buchanan coming up. He's got a laundry list here, and we do it now. Okay, friends and family, we are back at it again with another movie another week of movies that are bad, but we love them anyways. Class of Nukem High, 1986. Wonderful. Troma Films deliver another B movie trash fest with the Class of Nukem High. This is one crazy comedy horror film that is very over the top. If you're familiar with the Troma's catalog, you'll know what I'm talking about. This film is not without its flaws, but is definitely lots of fun from start to finish. If you love low-budget schlock, then this is the perfect film for you. I enjoyed every minute of it. The film is part horror comedy and part monster flick and part exploitation film. This film definitely is a must-see for horror fans who want something ridiculous to watch. Although not as memorable as The Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High definitely is fun from start to finish. Don't expect anything consistent here. You won't find it. This is a good little film from the folks at Troma. What was his name? Maybe he'll say it. Films who really know how to deliver effective so bad it's good films that are simply mindless fun. I very much enjoyed the film. There's plenty to enjoy on screen if you're in the right state of mind for these types of films. This is a good film that has enough gore, boobs, and of an off-the-wall ridiculousness to please fans of the genre. One thing that trauma films do very well is deliver over-the-top comedy, exploitation, horror, and the class of Nukem High, they do just that. There's plenty to enjoy with this film, and it has something for every horror fan. This is yet another low-budget film, and though flawed, this is nonetheless an enjoyable film that is sure to provide you with a mindless hour and a half of entertainment. Grab your favorite beverage, sit in your favorite chair, pop some popcorn, and press play. Wonderful. I love Nukem High. What's that movie? Mother's Day. That's a trauma film. What's his name? The old timer. He's been around. He's been trauma forever. I can't remember his damn name now. But anyways, you've seen him. He's that wacky old guy. Maybe it'll come to me while we're doing this. He says, oh, I have also sent you through Patreon a video that goes with Class of Nukem High, a super group of sorts that has a song in the movie. Look at me not making requests through Jive Talkin. Okay, I got that, but here's the good news. You're in the Patreon. I'll go read it. But you blast a lot of requests in there, so I'm going to have to, hopefully there's a Nukem High image of some sort. I do like that. Patreon, when you guys put the link in, it shows me an image of the thumbnail. So I appreciate that about it. Okay, here we go. Mike Buchanan says, well, look at Shane. He's like Snow White of the forest. Give him a little whistle and maybe some birds will fly to you. He's talking about my deer experience. And the deer has been back twice since. So I'm going to try and snap a photo when he's close to that glass again. Or maybe even a video. See if I can speak again to it and let's see what happens. I have found a full-length version of Gojira's performance and did send that to you through Patreon for your viewing pleasure. It's fantastic. Throwing this out there, the best thing that's ever happened at the Olympics. I mean, I'm trying to think, but what about, yeah, okay. I don't know enough about what's happened in the Olympics. Someone may say, a Gojira is the best thing that ever happened in the Olympics. How about Simone Biles winning 19 medals? Is that a terrible thing? I don't know. Although I was watching women's diving, Olympic diving, I think it was, maybe it wasn't the Olympics or whatever. And no, it wasn't for you sickos. It wasn't that I was watching their bum cheeks or anything like that. I liked the art of the dive. I used to do amazing cannonballs at the community pool. I'm telling you, so hard I could go down. People would stop in the pool, say, he's up there, he's going up the ladder. Because I'd get up there, and it's all about technique. But I would get cannonballs to hit the water would hit the roof and drip down. And people were like, amazing. But I don't even know what I was thinking about in that. Maybe this Olympics. Anyways, we're moving on. I have the opportunity, okay, to see Accept live in September along with KK's Priest. You got to go. But I do have a scheduling conflict. The same day, or rather the same night as the concert. You tell me. All right. Should I go to the concert or should I go to my son's final time in high school? He's now a senior. Okay, hold on. I'm wrestling with it, but I know you got more here. Should I go to my son's final time in high school? He's now a senior performance with his high school marching band for their official kickoff for the season. Oh, man. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you got to go see the Suns thing. I'd love to see KK's Priest. You got to go see the Sons thing, okay? Because you've seen the videos. Haven't you seen the videos where the kids looking, they line him up on the stage and the kid's so sad because he can't find his mommy and daddy in the audience. And he thinks, those fuckers aren't going to show up. And then all of a sudden his eyes catch daddy. And then he smiles and he brims and the piano starts playing harder and you're like, God damn it, you just made the kids like, so you can't because he's going to be doing whatever instrument he's doing. And he's going to look out there for daddy. And if he doesn't see daddy and then he goes, Dad, I didn't see you there. And I say, yeah, I went and saw KK's Priest. He'll hold that forever. Mike Buchanan says, y'all, I'm really torn over this. He's talking about it. He's really torn over this one. I never missed any performance my daughter did. I have not missed any performance my son has done. You can't start now. But come on. It's Accept and KK's Priest. Yeah, and these days, the fucking concerts start so early. School concerts start early. Rock concerts start early. So I remember first finding Accept back in the 80s with, of course, Balls to the Wall. One of those songs that made me beg my mom for like 6 months worth of allowance just to go to the record store so I could buy the album. That's when I discovered they had multiple albums. Fast forward to a few years later while visiting a friend who had moved to Texas. We went to a local mall and again, I am in the record store and they had one of those $2 bargain bins filled with cassette tapes. I love those. I looked through it and found 2 albums. I'm a Rebel by Breaker. Those albums are nothing like I'm a Rebel and Breaker. Okay. Those albums are nothing like what they became as a band when they released Restless and Wild. Mike Buchanan says, never say you're sorry, Ozzy, but seriously, I'm not all that interested or invested in this story to really care. Okay. Mike Buchanan says, I'm telling you that Carrie's band would not be nowhere as good if they had not Mark's fantastic voice. Phil's a good singer, but he's not thrash singer. Yeah. He fits that nicely. Mike Buchanan says, look at Shane getting back to nature. Maybe start up a new segment on your channel all about animals. Just a thought. Mike Buchanan says, oh boy, has Voivod really changed over the years? The first couple of albums are just masterpieces, especially Roar. Probably my all-time favorite Voivod album. Little Mikey played the crap out of it. I'm going to have to give her, maybe start doing some first listens off Roar. I think we've done one, maybe. Now, it's time for the Jive Talking Jokes of the Week. I take a sip. Pardon me. A priest, a pastor, and a rabbit walk into a blood bank. I'm just a typo, says the rabbit. Huh? I saw a book that said how to solve 50% of your problems. So I bought 2. Did you know that next week is Diarrhea Awareness Week? It runs until Friday. Once I was babysitting my neighbor's 4-year-old son. He asked me why I was so ugly. So I told him that I was him from the future. He cried. I laughed. Good times. And finally, not really a joke, but it goes along with your nail story. Oh, today's PSA. Yes, last episode, I offered to Eddie Trunk my great interview question, which is, have you ever stepped on a nail and do you remember the first time you did? If you step on a rusty nail, you could get tetanus and could die. To prevent this, whenever you see a rusty nail sticking out of a board, go ahead and remove that nail. With the nail removed, you can reinsert a new clean nail back into the board. Now you can safely step on this nail and not have to worry about getting tetanus. I mean, wonderful. You think people would already know that. They don't. Johnny B, and he's a new Patreon. We'll welcome him into the family, Johnny B. He found the channel. He fell in love. He's head over heels with the channel. He loves it. That's why he put 5 A's in my name there. But Johnny B says, Shane Diablo. Another great episode chock full of awesome music news. Thank you. Found out you had a Patreon. And now I am a proud Patreoner. I think that's what you call it. Looking forward to going through those archives. Well, there's a lot of mess in there. I'm really trying to figure something out to do for the fine Patreon folks. I just don't know what to do, but I want to do something special that's only there and only available. But for right now, it has been just a conduit to get to me directly. And then, of course, the people on Patreon that put in requests, they get bumped ahead of the line. They're in the snake pit as opposed to the comments I get from the videos. But I do take free requests on the videos. Johnny B's talking about that girl on the bus, the beautiful one, that I said, why are you on the bus? You need to say hello to her. Nope. And start a conversation. Nope. I look like a serial killer. And to her, the last thing she would want is for me to walk over and go, hey, I mean, you have an awesome personality and a very kind heart, bro. It takes longer than that. I need a solid, we need to be on a Greyhound bus. I'm willing to bet that she would love to talk to you. Go say hello, and I bet you'll be happy you did. I know I know. If she said, you know what, I thought it was all freaks that rode the bus, but you're a delight. Would you like to go back to my place? I don't even know if that's ever happened on a bus ever. Johnny B on the deer. My dad was a huge hunting guy and used to take my brother and I out every year for opening day. The deer was moving his head up and down. Oh, he's going to tell me. The deer was moving its head up and down like that because he was trying to see if you were a threat. They'll move their heads that way to try to get you to move. If you don't make any big or sudden movements, and I didn't, they'll eventually start to trust you, and you get closer out of pure curiosity. And get closer to you out of pure curiosity. So cool to hear you say there's no harm here. And he probably felt that. That's interesting. Boy, that battery's starting to scare me. We're going. Ghost, I agree with you saying that they're pop rock, but man, they are so damn good. I love that they don't take themselves too seriously. Yeah, very tongue-in-cheek. If you get a chance, watch their entrance to the Grammys in 2016. I have. Everyone looked shocked and a little scared, and Papa was so polite and gracious to everyone who he spoke to. And there's another thing I'll talk about. Quite the opposite of what people are expecting. It was really cool to see. Am I right? And one of them damn nameless ghouls piped in for a second, and I saw him shoot his head. Someone pipes in when he goes, hello, thank you very much. Someone popped over, and I think that someone was let go. So watch that 2016 Grammy nomination from Ghost, and when he's up there talking, right as soon as he finishes, someone goes, and also we want to thank blah, blah, blah.
You're fired, buddy. Get your fucking locker cleaned out and go.
Johnny B on Ween. Check out their album Pure Guava and The Mollusk, which the song Ocean Man is from. Two of the best, in my opinion. I will now. I went through a Ween phase a while back and really loved what they were doing. I mean, I'm telling you, I haven't heard a bad song yet, and they're all over the place. Johnny B on Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne's podcast. I love Ozzy. I love his music. I love Black Sabbath, and I listen to them a lot. I do not like what Sharon has done to the Ozzy brand. It's like the Kardashians at this point. It seems oversaturated and forced. Let's celebrate the music and the legacy that's Ozzy Osbourne and leave out the rest. Okay. I'm loving Johnny B. He's very eloquent. Johnny. Here's Johnny. Another great episode, Shane. I'm on episode 86 on the podcast on Spotify and just love listening to you throughout my day. Like you, I'm a driver, and your podcast is perfect to listen to on my routes. People see me laughing my ass off in my truck, and my God, and I give me strange looks. And if they only knew. Love it. Until next week. There you go, Johnny fucking B, the man. All right, and I'm sorry here, Amy's son. But we have ourselves a requester. Now, you remember, now I failed this episode, but Miss Althea had a great idea to let everybody know this is not a no request zone. So I'm sorry, and someone has replied down here. So I'm sorry, we're just going to have to bypass that. We go straight to Miss Althea. Yes, indeed. I'm sorry, but we cannot reward requests unless you put them in the middle of a massive paragraph of stuff like Mike B did, because now I'm going to go in there and look at that and see what's going on. Anywho, Miss Althea, the dumbstruck fool, says, communing with the deer. Hell yeah. There are many walking nature paths in the area where I live and work, and deer, as well as other assorted wildlife, abound. The deer are so accustomed to the foot traffic that it is very rare when they scurry. It is always the highlight of my day when I have my own moments of communing, not just with the deer, but with the geese, the squirrels, the chipmunks, the foxes, whatever wild things that will share time and space with me. I love that. Yeah, I talk out loud to them all. Just call me Dr. Doolittle. What is that guy's name? He's got a great book, and if you don't know, God, I'm trying to think of the author, and he usually does his own audiobooks, and he's got a book called Squirrel Meets Chipmunk. And it's stories about, but they're funny, hilarious, irreverent stories. They're all short stories. What's his name? Squirrel Seeks Chipmunk. I'm going to look real quick. Squirrel Meets Chipmunk. David Sedaris. Go check him out, man. I mean, it's called Squirrel Seeks Chipmunk, and it's David Sedaris, and there's short stories. There's an audiobook version. You will laugh your ass off. Anyways, back to Miss Althea here. Miss Althea on Gojira. I still haven't seen any footage of their performance. Good news, Mike has that. Performance at the Olympics, but I found the story ridiculous just the same. The 5 circles of hell, indeed. Anyone and everyone calling images of the beheaded Marie Antoinette satanic needs to take it up with France. France's history. Just as Joseph said, period. Miss Althea on Wolf Hoffman. I totally cannot wrap my head around the fact that Accept has been around for half a century, which means they formed when I was all of 8 years old. And in the 2nd grade. Ouch. Where were we at when the space shuttle, everybody? Let's get in the comments. And I mean, we don't need to go into graphic details, but I remember I was in grade school when the space shuttle had the teacher on it and stuff. It's one of those moments, isn't it? Where were you when this happened? Miss Althea on Ozzy versus Britney. The apology seemed to err more on the side of damage control rather than being genuine, in my opinion. And that is all I am going to say about that. Miss Althea on Rockers on Celebrity Family Feud. What the what? I hope they were playing for charity. That show has never been the same since Richard Dawson left. Oh my God. May he rest in peace. Boy, you got to be of an age to remember Richard Dawson. Wouldn't he come out with a whiskey drink in his hand? I feel like, and he had a pinky ring on, and he'd walk around to each other. He'd get kisses from all the ladies. Get in the comments and tell me if you remember Richard Dawson. May he rest in peace. I am also not a huge fan of Steve Harvey. I'm not so much either, so I haven't watched it in years. Now, wasn't there a fella that committed the suey? I remember there being a host on Family Feud or something like that that committed, that passed away. And then also Louis Anderson, the wonderful Louis Anderson, did it for a little bit. Come on, baby. Come on. Get your eyes back on the prize. Celebrity edition or... I am not a fan of Steve Harvey, so I haven't watched it in years. Celebrity edition or not. I would have loved for more appropriate fast money questions for the contestants, though. And from the 100 musicians to be surveyed instead of the random population at large. There you go. That's a good idea. I think the jokes write themselves here. Come on, you guys. So I'll stop. Miss Althea on Solid Gold topic revisit. I was slightly mistaken on the lead dancer's name, which was Darcel and not Darcy. Okay, so it wasn't the puppet. I am not sure. You were probably thinking of Waylon Flowers, puppeteer, and Madam. Yeah, Madam the puppet, the old lady looking thing, who would do stupid little bumper stints between acts or before and after the commercials. Yeah. All right, Miss Althea, there you go. There's your heart. I'm sorry, Amy's son. But and we got who's this fella? Joaquin Valadez. Well, he's got 2 hearts received and 8 comments. He did pretty good there. But he's left a link here, and we don't click the links because we know that's going to be to a request. And it doesn't even say anything like, maybe I got to look at the clip because what is it? I can't look at the clip. We cannot break the rules around here. That's it, guys. We're done. Battery's getting low. I'm on low energy, low daily energy. Another grinding 99 degrees outside all day, sunburned. I go white, translucent, pink, purple. Let's just, come on, baby. I need you to be here with me. Oh. No. All right, let's get tones now. Did you like a little podcast, like a little fun? Did you like how I did it? Did it give you the runs? It is diarrhea week next week. It's diarrhea week next week. It's diarrhea week next week. So Jive, until you wipe